Hello, everyone. Good morning, afternoon, or night, whatever time you're watching this. This is a presentation entitled Quarantine Madness by Joshua Paul Williams, mass media art. So, to get into it, Quarantine 2020. This year, coronavirus has struck the public, changing life as we know it. To be more specific, coronavirus, this strain of coronavirus could be called COVID-19, and it's had a huge amount of direct effects on people. Some including that schools have been prematurely closed and are shutting down for temporary reasons. Travel between states has been restricted, and that is air travel. I'm speaking on uh, transportation between cars is still available, but still restricted at to a certain point. Not like that though. Access to stores and services has become limited. You must wear a mask and gloves to go into certain establishments, and different jobs have taken different measures into account depending on the job that you have. And so, once again, yeah, depending on the field of work, some people are forced to work in contact with people, and some people are not. Some people are working remotely, and others are working face to face, like store clerks and whatnot. And approximately 1.2 million confirmed deaths in the United States as of May 6th, a few days ago. Then I'm recording this. And so, yeah, students across the world have been working remotely, if possible, due to coronavirus and whatnot. So I'm one of those students. And that's what this presentation is about. COVID-19 has forced me to become cooped up all in my house for my own safety. And it is important to remain busy and stay busy. It's important to remain busy during such a time, for purposes of my sanity and productivity. So I'm about to tell you about the activities that I have been uh, the activities that have been going on in my life to keep me focused and sane. So I've had to focus on my academic work, learning to play instruments, studying and performing audio engineering, and I've been tending to my household duties, and I'm about to get to all of those. So for my academics, uh, I've had a large sum of work to keep up throughout quarantine. I have 5 classes, and those classes include advanced grammar and composition, elementary Spanish 2, infotech and infotech and computer applications, multimedia writing and reporting, and music appreciation as well. So all of which I've made a fairly decent transition with. This is a picture of me taken by me. But I do know that other students across the world also have online classes as well, and the main problem there is that like people are not taught. A lot of people are only receiving work. So a common solution for that is Zoom, and you can see a Zoom quote right there. You might want to read it yourself. But Zoom basically is a online video communication system, and Zoom has been used by professors all across the board, professors, teachers, and students, so that we can have video chat classes and keep a consistent teaching basis, as opposed to just assigning work. But I would have to say that this is not across the board as a whole. Like this is just certain classes. It's optional. It's very optional. But to continue with my academics further, you can see a chart about the student and teacher mobility on the left, and basically, yeah, the the transition has been okay for me, but I know that's not the case for everyone in the world. So there's different cases from house to house. And music appreciation has actually been my favorite class to have, and that's my only class that I've had consistent Zooms on. So, interesting fact: did you know that the shares in Zoom went up by 40% in February due to this coronavirus influx of users? So, on to music. This is a song that I've made, produced, engineered, but to keep going, I have been learning to play instruments. For a year and a half now, I've been learning the art of producing, and I'm a music producer. So, producers create the instrumentals behind songs. And today, a lot of producers usually use software alone to handle understanding music theory, but I try to take it into my own hands to learn it myself to the best of my ability because I intend to be the greatest at what I do. So, I originally began learning to play the guitar, but I moved to the piano because it's a more translatable instrument. It's pretty much the basis of all music when you think about it, and it's just very useful. So there's a definition of music theory there, but to keep it going, I'm going to explain some music theory on the piano. So there are 12 keys, some white and some black. You can see on the picture below, or to the left actually. The notes go by C, C sharp, D, D sharp, and so on. The hashtag symbol is pronounced as sharp, and each note produces a unique tone. That would be C, C sharp. They all produce their own unique tone, and they repeat on the piano multiple times, and these are called the octaves. And every note at a different octave produces the same pitch, or produces a different pitch at the different octave, but it's the same note, same tone, regardless. So on to audio engineering. Outside of just learning to play the piano, I spent a large sum of time learning the audio engineering concepts. You could probably hear within the song, like the rain and everything. It's mixed very well. So yes, there's a definition of what an audio engineer does, but to keep it rolling for the sake of the video file not being too long, I gotta keep it pushing. But basically, audio engineers are it's a very necessary job in the field of mass media. A very necessary job. So some basic concepts in audio engineering would be reverb, delay, and compression. But for right now, I'm only going to explain compression. Compression is controlling the dynamics of the sound through both the inputs and the outputs. And to the left, you see a picture of a compressor on my computer. It controls the dynamics of sound, and basically that's how loud and how soft the sound can get. And basically controls the spatial recognition of the sound, like how far back and how close up the sound could be. So ultimately, over quarantine, my favorite thing to do was setting up my studio, which I have a YouTube video beneath and in the comment section on YouTube below, underneath this video. You can click that and see the video that I have embedded. And all of the music in the video that I played is music that I created over quarantine, so you can get a taste of that. But it's basically me putting together everything I've learned: the music theory, the piano, and the engineering concepts. So watch that video if you're interested. It's in the comments, or it's in the description below. And household duties, the last thing that I've been going through. I live in a 2-person household right now. It's just my mother and I, the 2 residents, and the main things I've been having to do primarily just include cleaning the litter box, taking out the trash, washing dishes, sweeping and mopping, washing and folding the clothes. So that's another picture of me that I took, just me about to take out the trash. And yeah, that's what I'm usually doing if I'm not doing anything academically or music involved. So to conclude it all, getting through it all, overall quarantine hasn't been that bad. I've raised my grades, I'm excelling in my career, so that's my music goals, and I've had more family time. And ultimately, all of this time has forced me to reflect, and I feel like I've been making a lot of progress since then. So ultimately, I'm thankful for the madness. This has been a presentation entitled Quarantine Madness by Joshua Paul Williams, a mass media arts major. Thank you, and goodbye.